Hey mamas and mamacitas. We are here on Mama Talk Live. I'm going to invite the All-American Mama, Molly, from Mindful Mamas TV so she can join us and we can talk how to lose the baby weight postpartum.
Hey,
There you go. Hey Molly.
hey, how are we looking on your end? Because on my end, this image is quite skewed.
I see us both side by side.
Okay, great.
I'm a little bit higher than you, but I don't know if I can go a little bit lower. I would have to bring my, actually, I know what I'm going to do.
No problem. On my end, it might just be my phone and my app, but it is like a weird image. But if the mamas watching can see us clearly, that's all that matters.
Yes. No, you're fine. You look good. You look good.
Thanks.
Beautiful mama.
All right.
So, welcome to the second edition of Mama Talk Live here in All-American Mommy Molly, as you see, with discusses with the Latina mommy, aka me, Valentina Izarra, about all topics related to mommy. And this week we wanted to talk about, what are we here to talk about, Molly?
Yeah, so you are tuned into a very awesome episode. We are going to be sharing with you 5 tangible tips to help you lose the baby weight postpartum.
Yes, that's right. Because it takes a village, right? And sometimes we need that extra little push to get us on our way, because we might get discouraged in the beginning because we say, oh my goodness, there's all this weight to lose. How in the world are we going to be able to do this? So we're here to help you ladies and to let you to tell you guys about our experience, what has helped us, and in that way we can help you on your journey to shedding those baby pounds.
Yes, so I'm very excited to share this. As you know, my baby girl is 16 months old, so I've had more than enough of a window to drop those few extra baby pounds I might have put on during our gestation. So let's kick it off with our first tip, shall we, Valentina?
Yes. So our first tip, we want to discuss equipment, right? The equipment that we use that is like a tangible something that helped us shed those baby pounds. So I gave birth to Leonardo, my son Leonardo, 6 months ago. And for me, my saving grace, and I talk to everybody that tells me, wow, how were you able to shed those pounds so quickly? I give a lot of credit to my, what's called a Colombian Faja. So this Faja is spelled F like in Frank, A-J-A. And what it is basically like, I would call it a Spanx, but like on steroids. So it's like a girdle, I would say. I actually have mine on. I'm going to show you.
Do you have it on? Oh, I want to see it.
Oh, yeah.
See it.
So.
Wow.
You see, it has a zipper on the side because I had a C-section.
Okay.
So normally, if you have normal birth, there's actually ones that they sell with a zipper in the middle. But mine's on the side, and it's zipper, and then you see it has like little clips.
Yeah. So it's like a corset.
Yes, a corset. But the corset actually starts all the way at the knees down here.
Oh.
What? So it's like a whole body suit that you wear, and see, you put it over. The only thing that I'm going to show you, this is a little TMI, but I'm going to show you, I wear my sparkly bra on purpose. But you see, it shows my bra, but it actually goes around my back.
Yeah. Oh.
And it actually helps with your posture.
Mama, so this thing, this faja that you're wearing goes down to your thighs and all the way up and over your shoulders.
Yes, you can actually get them if you like. I live in Miami, so it's kind of, I'm a little bit weird. I like the one that goes down all the way down to my knees.
Okay.
Because that way you don't see, it doesn't cut the middle of my thighs.
Mm-hmm.
But I have several fajas. So some of them start mid-thigh. Like when I want to wear a skirt or like shorts, they either start mid-thigh or even higher, like little mini shorts, like little Daisy Dukes, you know?
Okay.
So you can wear one of those. But I like the most comfortable one for me is the one that goes all the way down to my knees.
Huh.
And then it goes all the way up. And it not only helps you like put your belly back together, and I used mine religiously, literally for like the first 4 months. I used it almost every day. In the beginning, let me just tell you, ladies, it took my mom and my sister to get this thing on. So I had I usually wear an extra small, but this one was a small because I'm like, it was like already, you know, how do you say, challenging. I know it was gonna be challenging enough to get that small in there because it looked like this. And when I gave birth, I had a C-section. I was very swollen, and I still looked like the day after, like I was like 6 months pregnant.
Yeah. But
so
normal. That's normal to look pregnant still.
Of course.
Just get.
Yeah, of course. It is normal. You're like swollen, but this thing, I didn't like that sensation. You know how you feel like when you give birth, like your stomach just kind of hangs there and you can't really keep control of the muscles?
Yeah. Well, yeah,
okay. Well, at least
extended and stretched out. So it's
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then on top of that, if you have a C-section, they literally cut open they cut through all that muscle tissue. So I didn't like that feeling of everything kind of just hanging out. So on the 4th day, and this is a very Latino thing to use fajas. So my mom was the one who, when I first gave birth 9 years ago, she's like, we got to get you the faja. The faja is like the best thing in the world. And I followed my crazy mother and I put the faja on, and it worked the first time around. So I have to say that for me, this is like #1 thing that I use. Although I know people hate it.
I was gonna say, you know, I'm sitting over here and nodding and smiling politely, but I actually have a very different viewpoint on using that equipment. Of course, I am the mindful mama, so I'm going to be respectful of every mommy has a different thing that's going to work for them. But for me, I really view the body different, and especially childbirth. I see it as an opportunity. Your body's opening up. It's an opportunity for you're not only giving birth to new life, but while your body is in postpartum and it's open and it's expanded, it's an opportunity for you to release maybe some past traumas that you've been holding on to. For me specifically, right after giving birth, it was like a week later when my hips were trying to come back into alignment naturally without the help or support of something like a Faja or a body shaper. I was experiencing this interesting and very uncomfortable pain, and went to a chiropractor who specializes in moving energy blocks. And she had told me, she's like, this is something tied to your childhood. So I went home and meditated on it, and I released it. And something that came up for me that I didn't even know I was harboring in my hips and my abdominal space was released. And so I'll be honest, I'd done my research beforehand and really thought I might try one of those body shapers post-baby, because it's probably pressure I've put on myself or society pressure, like getting your body back post-baby fast. But for me, it wasn't the way that I went. It didn't feel like in total.
That's very good, because this is like an opportunity for all you guys out there to know, all you ladies, that there are 2 different ways of doing things, and that you are able to get back to your body weight with or without the Faja.
Yeah, but you've got me sold on like, oh, it helps with posture, because that's a big deal. When after becoming a mother, there's a lot of this movement and holding the baby, and nursing the baby, and in awkward positions all the time. So to have that extra element of support for your body to get reestablished, you're kind of almost selling me on this as a potential opportunity for any new.
And let me tell you, the funny thing is, I'm like a super fan of Fajas. Like I had a pregnancy Faja. It actually works like it expands, so it allows you to expand with the baby, but it also gives you like sort of like the way a bra supports your breast. There's one that also helps you, and I am a super fan of the pregnancy Faja, because I would notice that on the days that I would wear it, I was a lot less tired at the end of the day, because my back would hurt less, because it would help me support the baby weight so that everything wasn't just forward. So yeah, I love my Faja, but as you know, I know there's people that are so against it, and I have to say it is uncomfortable. So well, actually, the more you wear it, the more comfortable it becomes.
Is it because it's restricting all of your nerve endings and you just lose sensation, Valentina?
No. No, it's because it actually works. Like it really does. Like I noticed the first day I had a significant amount of like, how do you say, like circumference loss around my belly, like in inches.
The correct term, yeah.
I went from looking like in a day, and I only wore it for like 2 hours the first day because it was so uncomfortable. That's the only thing I could wear it for. And my mother and sister actually I took both of them to put that thing on the first day. You know those old fashioned movies where there's people like against the pole of the bed and there's like the woman pushing? Okay, well this is me like on the bed, like literally like this, and my mom and my sister going 1, 2, 3, oh, and like trying to close the like that each of those things one by one.
No, I'm glad it worked for you, but for me, I'm gonna tell you, I didn't even wear clothes the first week after giving birth to baby. Nobody that I didn't know I was gonna be in a diaper for 2 weeks. And so for any new mommies, not to scare you, but like diapers are a thing after you give birth. And I'm not kidding. Like these, oh, I wish I had one. Oh, I do. Hold on, I have one right here. Like, do you know these baby, like these baby swaddlers? Like,
yes,
I legit wore my diaper and one of these baby swaddlers for like the first week after. So I went the total opposite direction. I was like, let my body be open and loose and let me release any emotional blockage I need to release.
That's interesting.
And
that's very interesting.
Yeah, the approach I took was more of like, I wanted to do the spiritual emotional healing, and I personally believe that it was through, so this would be my go-to equipment for that first week post baby. I like didn't leave the house. I like literally was either naked or wore this only because I was so tender, and I just wanted to honor my body and allow it to be in a resting place. And I think for me that was one of the key tips that helped me actually lose the baby weight, because I allowed myself to release the emotional blockages that I didn't even know I was harboring pre-baby.
Wow, that's beautiful. I think that's beautiful. I think what, the takeaway from both of this, because both of our experiences are so different, is that you need to listen to your own body and to what is right for you.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I couldn't get Faja. And if I ever have another baby, I'm putting that thing on again.
Cool. Well, it's awesome to know that it's out there and that there are different ways of achieving it. Let's move on to tip number 2.
Number 2. Okay. So tip number 2 is diet. So I think for the diet, I know both of us talk that one of the most important things for the both of us is to drink a ton of water, right?
A glass
after post baby. Water is so important. You need to like flush out everything. It really does help like get rid of everything. Mm-hmm. And not only does it allow you to go to the bathroom, which is obviously important, but it also will allow you to, it makes breastfeeding a lot easier because you'll actually get that supply. Mm-hmm. That supply comes in. So for me, the most important thing, if I could say, I did 2 things. For me, diet, I believe in just moderation. Mm-hmm. Like I did not deprive myself of things after I gave birth. I mean, I didn't go crazy. What I focused on was like, what are the nutrients that I need to get into my body in order to nourish my son, because I was breastfeeding, and I knew that essentially I was doing it for my son, but I was also doing it for myself. So drinking lots of water and just making sure that I had lots of veggies. Like I drank a ton of soup. Like every day I had a different type of soup, like asparagus soup or creams, like creams. I think that's what they're called in English. So like cream of asparagus, cream of broccoli. I did not take anything out of my diet. My son didn't have a problem ingesting any different types of vegetables. I know a lot of people say, oh, you can't have broccoli because it gives the baby gas. From my experience, it was fine. I was able to eat all different kinds of vegetables. So I just focused on, getting those nutrients that I needed and water. Yeah. What was your experience, Molly?
Speaking of water and then tying it back into equipment, one piece of equipment that I invested in the moment I found out I was pregnant was an RO water filtration system for my place. So now I am drinking the water and sometimes adding a lemon just to help give it more of that alkaline balance within our bodies. And so, yeah, absolutely. Tons of water was a huge factor. And specifically drinking water before going and grabbing the snack or the food, because our brains don't often understand or know that you're really just thirsty and you're not necessarily hungry. So getting into the habit of grabbing the glass of water before the food, especially with nursing, like you can't deny if you are nursing, like that immediate biomechanical feedback you get of like, give me water.
Yeah, you're so thirsty, like right all the time. We're thirsty when we're breastfeeding.
Yeah, and if we're gonna talk about diet, like trust me, because of the whole gestation of like you can't eat seafood, you can't eat sandwiches, no coffee, no wine. The moment I gave birth, I was like, I just want like a big cheeseburger and ice, like all the things I deprived myself of. Give me some sushi, give me some wine. But because I did decide to nurse my baby, she was having some digestive issues, and as much as I wanted to allow myself to like reward myself with the comfort foods, because she was my priority and I wanted to make sure that I was giving her the highest quality milk possible and something that wasn't going to upset her tummy, I actually adopted the elimination diet, meaning that I only ate squash, ground turkey, and rice every meal for like the first, I want to say almost month, with no hot sauces, with really no extra seasoning.
That's it? That was like your breakfast, lunch, and dinner?
That it was. And trust me, like I'm not gonna lie, like I was a little bit miserable because I'm like, I just want to eat chocolate cake or
oh my God,
or pizza or anything. But because her tummy was so sensitive and she was so little, that first month postpartum, it was a very bland and basic diet. And I think that it actually worked in my favor of not needing so much variety and so many spices, that now 16 months later, if you were to come take a peek in my fridge, I only have whole foods, very basic and somewhat bland foods. And I think that it created a new habit for me to choose organic and whole foods over a lot of the processed stuff that I would have consumed pre-baby.
Yeah, I eat like also organic, but I was the complete opposite. I ate like everything. Even like my aunt was like, she was in town because she's in Venezuela, and she was in town. She happened to be in town. She's the best like maker of desserts, but she makes the desserts from scratch.
Oh,
so she made this delicious like Ghirardelli chocolate cake, and she's like, "Are you sure you should be having chocolate? You're breastfeeding. Isn't that going to be bad for like the baby?" And I was like, "Nope." It's like I was craving chocolate so much during the breastfeeding, and I had it. Like I knew that I knew the ingredients that I had. Like I said, it's all about, for me, it's all about moderation. And I try to listen to my body in terms of what it needs. So like my body even will tell me if I'm, if I take the time to listen, like when it is that I need fruits, like also when I'm thirsty, like what you said is very key. A lot of times we go for food when in reality what we are is thirsty. But yeah, I had a little bit of everything. In moderation.
Me, that was just the very first few weeks after giving birth. Now, since then, I eat anything and everything. I'm no longer nursing. We stopped our nursing practice, like it's a practice. But we stopped nursing at 13 months. And so I do eat everything, but I do have cake near daily. But I am very mindful of when I eat it and how much, and in moderation. And I tend to choose the organic version or the gluten-free version over the, well, I don't even know what's the other option. The less healthy choice, we'll say.
Yes, there you go. Like I think living in France, I lived in France for several years. That was a philosophy I took from the French, is that they eat a little bit of everything, but they eat everything in moderation.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the third tip. So let's move on past diet. Let's talk about the workout plan. What was your workout plan post-baby, Molly?
Yeah, so I think one of the reasons why I was able to have such great results postpartum was that I did such a diligent and mindful workout practice during my gestation. But setting up some form of a workout plan. So whether that's meeting up with a mommy group and doing stroller walks, or I was a part of a Mommy and Me yoga practice, and also even during pregnancy and postpartum, strength training, lifting the dumbbells. Actually, forget about the dumbbells. Let me get real honest with you. I would ergo baby or get one of those baby wraps and boba wear Ahana, and we would go climb the stairs. So she was my resistance training, that extra little 6 to 10 pounds of during that time, and climbing the stairs and still just making it a point every day to move my body.
Yes, I think that's key. Moving your body for, I think that's like the number one key. And sometimes I don't know, feel the pressure that we need to go right into workout mode. But in reality, all it takes is just like keep moving. And for me, like I walked a lot. I had to be very careful about introducing all of the workout because yes, because of my C-section, and also the first time I gave birth to my first son, Luciano, I started working out at 8 weeks when they gave me the green light, and something in my body told me that I was not ready to work out still. So I was smart enough to stop, and so I waited another 4 weeks, and then when I really started at 12 weeks, I was good to go. And this time around, I kind of already knew that 12 weeks was something that I wanted to allow my body I wanted to allow that time for my body to recuperate without getting it a lot of pressure. But what I did do like a lot was like walk. And when I mean a lot, I mean as soon as I was able to walk and go out in the stroller, I think a week after giving birth, I was walking like 4 miles daily.
Wow.
Yeah, I was walking a lot. I walked a lot, and that was key. So I wasn't lifting weights for a long time. Actually, I was not able to go back to my dance classes for a while because of the C-section. But what I did a lot of was walking, and walking was key. And it's also a great way to get out of the house, right? Because you spend so much time in the house, post baby, that for me it was like I think my favorite part of the day, because I was able to go outside.
Yeah, spending so much time in the house. And then you're also a bit of a sleep deprived mommy. So getting yourself really fired up to go do like a workout like you might have done before baby, like it's maybe not realistic, but setting a small goal like, hey, I'm going to go push the baby in the stroller, maybe meet up with a mommy friend if I can for 15 minutes or for 4 miles, however energized you are, I think is just a key element to getting into that habit of allowing yourself to lose the baby weight.
Yes, and it's moving. I think as long as like, and the key with moving as well is choosing something that we like, right? Because I think for working out, there's so many options out there in terms of how we can get fit. Like some of us, like for me, like my favorite way to get fit is by dancing. So I take my dance classes, which I wasn't able to in the beginning, but as soon as my body said, okay, you're ready, that's what I do to work out, is dancing. But for any of those watching, like you have to choose for yourself, like what you love to do, so that moving around and getting fit actually is like a fun thing rather than like a chore, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. For me, it was strapping the baby in the boba, hitting the stairs, going for a little climb up and down our apartment unit's stairs or the Santa Monica stairs, and then putting in a really great inspiring podcast or something and listening to something that I loved while moving my body and holding and snuggling my little one. You got to find something that you love and you'll be excited to do every day.
Yeah. Plus the babies love it, right? They love it when they go take a stroll outside.
Yeah.
It's pretty neat. They fall asleep. You get peace sometimes.
Yeah.
Mine would clunk out.
Absolutely. So Valentina, for me, while I was allowing my body to come back into its homeostatic alignment and bringing the hips back in and all of that, one thing I practiced doing was still applying some topical creams to encourage moisture and for my skin to come back together. And I loved just using an organic coconut oil. What's something that you used?
I have 2 creams that I used also like religiously during the pregnancy. The same 2 creams were the same during the pregnancy and post-pregnancy. And I used the brand Clarins. And the reason I did it was use this brand was because it worked really great the first time around. So the first one that I use it's actually a tonic oil. It's called the Tonic Oil by Clarins. And it's good. This tonic oil is actually great for not only for people that are going through the pregnancy stage where your stomach is expanding, but also for weight loss. So basically you use the tonic oil after you take a shower, you shampoo, you put your soap on, and at the very end of the shower, right before you're about to get out, you put the oil anywhere that you know your body's going to expand.
Breast,
and that includes like
eyes. Yeah.
Yes, the breast, the thighs, even back here, because we don't really realize that it expands like all the way back here. So basically, and even in your arms, like some people gain weight in their arms during pregnancy. So I would put the tonic oil, and then you turn the shower a little bit cold, and then you go and you quickly go into the shower with a little bit of a cooler temperature of water, and then you just come out and you dry yourself. And the smell of this tonic oil is divine.
Do you have to air?
No, afterwards, like, no, I mean, a little bit. The thing is that it smells so good. This oil smells so good. Even my husband, he's like, oh my gosh, that thing smells so good. That you kind of do want to just pat yourself dry afterwards, but it really does moisturize your skin a lot. And so it's good pre-baby to avoid stretch marks, but post-baby, it's actually a cream or an oil that's designed for people when they're like losing a lot of weight, and not just pregnancy weight. When people are planning to lose a lot of weight in general as well, it's a good oil that they say to use, and it smells really good. So I used that one, and then the other one was an anti-stretch mark cream also by Clarins. I would put it in the night, and I would put it in the day. And post baby, I would put it on as well.
Nice. Oh, see, I didn't even know those existed. I just used plain old basic organic coconut oil, and it seemed to work great. Now, one tip I do have for you, mama watching. Make sure that you're applying it to your breasts too.
Yes.
That's one thing I probably could have shown a little bit more love to, but I have to say that with all of the practices that we've shared so far, like honestly, my body looks better now than it did before baby.
Yes, I think it's a misconception that our bodies are gonna always look worse post-baby than pre-baby. Mm-hmm. And I think that people need to know that you could actually get into much better shape post-baby than pre-baby. There's a lot of options out there right now, and I think a lot of it is just wanting to for me, it's like sort of a challenge, you know. I realized the first time around, it's like, let's see like what I can do. And when you actually push yourself, you can actually see results that you never even thought you could get post baby. Really you can. Mm-hmm. So I haven't gotten to the point yet. I'm 6 months. I haven't gotten to the point yet where I would say my body right now is better than it was pre, but I'm getting there. And I remember with my firstborn, it took me about a year. Mm.
Yeah.
To the point where I was, oh yes, like now I'm getting the results that I really want. So we just have to be like patient with ourselves. I know some people go faster and slower than others. I have a friend of mine who would, like, I don't know how many weeks later, look like she'd never given birth to anything.
Absolutely. And we do progress at our own rate, but the thing is that our bodies are super wise, and that they will accommodate and come back into shape as long as we're being mindful and implementing some of those practices we've talked about. Now, one thing for you mamas who are on the fence of whether or not you want to nurse or not nurse, or I know some mommies aren't producing enough milk, so this is not a nurse or don't nurse topic, but for those of you that are capable of doing it and are possibly interested in doing it. And I say that because I was a mommy who was like, absolutely not. I do not care to breastfeed. Like, the whole thing weirded me out. I did not think I was going to do it at all. And then I did end up nursing a Hana for 13 months. So I say that from a mommy who was like, I could do it, but I didn't want to do it, but I did it. Nursing is one of nature's way of helping us lose the baby weight.
Oh, absolutely. It's shown that it burns about 500 calories a day more. So it's basically like giving you an intense workout without you even going to the gym. Mm-hmm. And also it's proven that it helps shrink the uterus and put it back into place, because it produces these sort of like contractions with your body. So I don't know if I would say that that's necessarily the reason I breastfed. It was definitely an incentive. But for me, like, since I knew that I was going to do a cesarean birth, I was so gung-ho about breastfeeding, because it's like, I was like, okay, I might not give natural birth, but my goodness, I am going to breastfeed. It was like, I will do it. And I think that mentality helped me kind of get through it, because for me, it was very hard for the first 2 months, the breastfeeding. The second time around with baby number 2, it actually was super easy. Baby number 1, it was something that really did take a lot of willpower and a lot of patience and just pushing through it. And I ended up getting a how do you call it, a lactant consultant that came over to my house.
And were you able to nurse firstborn, and for how long?
Yes, for both of my children, I chose to do it for 6 months. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I have 6 months after the. Go ahead.
Oh, 6 months. 6 months is great. I mean, I'm telling you, like, I was from the moment, like the day before giving birth, I was like, oh no, I don't think I'm gonna breastfeed. But because it was so easy for Ahana and I, like so easy, those first few weeks, I was like, oh, well, this is easy. And then it got to around the 6 month mark, and I was like, I think I could be done. But my husband encouraged me. He was like, if you could try to do it a little bit longer, he lovingly was like, I don't want to say guilted me into it because I'm my own woman and make my own decisions, but it really would be best for the baby if you could continue. So I did I would say push it, but I did extend it to 13 months. But then I was like, you have too many teeth. I can't do it.
That's great. That's great. I was wondering this time around if I was gonna go for late, if I was gonna go and do it for a little bit longer because I could have, but I think it was just like how hectic my schedule was, and I got to the point where I'm like, I was mourning the fact that I was gonna start weaning, but I sort of felt within myself, I'm like, I think it's time. I think I've done my job, but I do have to say that I sometimes miss it. It's a beautiful experience if you do get to the point where you're actually enjoying it.
It's totally, it was like such an emotional, mental, weird roller coaster for me to be like, I didn't want to do it, and now I love it, and now I don't want to do it anymore, but I'm still doing it, and now I miss it, and now I'm like she was crying last night, and part of me was like, oh, I wish I still had that magic, you know, of like, come here, but
yes, exactly, because it is sort of like that magic. Yeah, yes, it's like, oh, you don't cry, here.
Yeah. But for those mommies out there who are interested in doing it, are capable of doing it, nursing can be one of the best ways to help you naturally lose the baby weight, because yes, it does burn your body off like 500 calories, which is equivalent to doing a pretty workout, and also it does send signals to your uterus, automatically contracting it and helping you back into that pre-baby tight and toned tummy.
Yes, tight and toned tummy. And however, though, if you're not able to do it, don't be so hard on yourselves either, because whether you do it or not, I know a lot of mamas who did not breastfeed and they got into awesome shape afterwards. So yeah, so if for all of those who can, awesome, it will give you some extra calories, and for those of you who are not able to, that's fine. There's lots of other ways that you guys can shed those pounds.
Absolutely. I'm glad that you said that, Valentina. So Mama, thank you so much for joining us for today's episode. I sincerely hope that you got something out of this. Please be sure to leave us a comment below and let us know what was your most inspiring tip. And also, if you've got a few insights, tips, or tricks that you would like to share with our fellow mamas, share this video and share your comments below, because this is a community and your voice matters. So make sure that you follow us next week. We'll be here every single Tuesday at 12 p.m. Central Standard Time with a hot, new, fresh mommy topic.
Yes, that's life, Mama. So let's talk. We'll see you next Tuesday.
And in the meantime, you can follow us on Ganas and Mindful Mamas TV.
Can we tell them to follow us on our... Molly?
Yeah. I think there's a delay.
Oh, goodness. No, we're frozen here. The whole lot of technical issues. So Molly, I thought Molly wanted to say something else. Did you want to say one last thing?
I did. I just said, in the meantime, between our next episode, next Tuesday, be sure to follow us at Mamas con Ganas and Mindful Mamas TV.
That's awesome. See you guys later. Bye, mamas.
Bye.